I'm Dr. Jane Mountrose here with my wonderful partner and co-director of Awakenings Institute, Phillip Mountrose. We help awakening souls like you to increase your emotional and spiritual intelligence by accessing your full range of resources. The goal is to enjoy life to the fullest and evolve and grow in magical and mystical ways. You might wonder what this means. What this means. If so, you're not alone. We've wondered about it ourselves, and we were fortunate to have the support of Archangel Metatron, who led us, and we came to understand that our full range of resources includes guidance from archangels, enlightened masters, and other beings of light. We also learned to use oracle cards and access the Akashic Records as a sacred practice to further increase our awareness. And it also accelerates spiritual growth. So it's a lot. Fortunately, the best approach is to be in the now. And so with that in mind, today, with the active energies of spring upon us, we're opening to embracing the blessings of the month of May. We'll be doing an oracle reading in celebration of the season. We also plan to go into the Akashic Records and open to a message for all of us in this remarkable time of year. So we're excited. I hope you're excited too. As always, we first want to thank you for joining us. And here's the best part. When you open to increasing your emotional and spiritual IQ, you could say, and awakening to your soul's wisdom and guidance, life becomes much more enlivening and interesting and miraculous and fulfilling. So many different things. And in the process, you also become a beacon of light for the world, which is very important at this critical time. So the way we look at it, what could be better? I also, before we start, I want to remind you, if you're here with us live, and I'm going to try to get up the chat, please say hi. Let us know where you're from if you're new. Yeah. And feel free to comment, to ask questions, whatever appeals to you in the chat.
And we might be able to connect the oracle readings to some of the people too who are watching this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you never know. So one more thing before we start is we'd just like to take a few breaths of light, of love, of expansive energy from the universe to support us in our time together. So if you're in a place where you can close your eyes and you're safe to do that, you might want to do that and just turn within a bit. And as you inhale, imagine breathing in the most wonderful light from the universe, the most amazing light possible for you in this moment. And then as you exhale, releasing, just letting go of anything you don't need right now. Taking those beautiful breaths, inhaling and exhaling. What this does also is it brings you more into your body in the moment, so we can all be present together in a beautiful way. Okay, so I see Nikki's here. Hi, Nikki. Thanks for joining us. With that, Phillip, I'd like to turn to you and ask you to share a little bit about your perceptions of what's available to us in this wonderful month of May.
Yes, so May is when spring is just getting in full gear and actually heading towards summer. And that means there's a lot of flowers blooming, which are very beautiful, a lot more color in our life. The trees are budding and blossoming at times. So that shows us that there's a lot of growth externally in our world and in nature that we're vitally linked up to. We want to be as conscious of that as possible. To be in the flow, the ebb and flow of life.
Right.
And on the internal basis, as Jane, you were talking about, was this spiritual awakening. So we're having more energy and more growth and more color and creativity. Things are becoming enlivened. And that's all around us at this time of year.
Right. Sharon is here. Hi, Sharon. It's so nice to see you, sort of, and know you're here. So welcome. And it is it's interesting because in this format we often talk about the season, and for months we've been talking about, well, spring is coming. we need to prepare for doing this and that by releasing and whatever. Well, it's here now. So we're in the fullness of spring, and there's that vibrant energy of creativity, of ideas, of possibilities, and of course there is more energy coming to us from above, from the sun itself, which is a reflection of what in general the universe is inviting us to embrace. And I think that's the wonderful thing about focusing in on the seasons. And we often focus also on lunar phases and different things that are happening. Um, it brings us into the moment, into what actually is around us, the energy that's around us that we can use, rather than fighting it and wanting to maybe connect in some or do something else. But he's
Right. And part
funny
of
boy.
the
And well, let me just mention Lula is here too.
oh, hi, Lula.
Hi, Lula. Nikki says too windy. That too, where we live. She lives near us and on the central coast of California, and it is a windy time of year too. Interesting.
Yeah, windy can be part of just in sync with it's kind of a time of sometimes agitation and volatility with the winds. And when I used to work with
Right,
younger
right,
school children as a teacher, if they'd be out, they'd be very wild if there was a windy day. That would agitate the children quite a bit.
right. Yeah.
It's affecting us as well.
Mm-hmm. There's Robin Waters Dykes is here also. Welcome, Robin.
Good. Yeah. And
She says, good morning, beautiful souls. And I know she's talking to all of you. So
yes, good
thank you.
morning to
And
you.
Babs is here. She's
Yeah.
saying hello.
So when we are imminently going to draw some oracle cards, maybe we can connect them with the people who are watching.
Babs is saying it's hard to hear Philip. Is your
Okay. When
yeah,
we
you have to remember where your mic is.
yeah, what is this better? So when we imminently are going to choose a oracle card, maybe this will relate to the people who are watching, and we'll pick up some of the specific energies of them, and then generalize it to what's going on for all of us in humanity in this time of awakening.
Right, right.
The point I was wanted to make, going back to emotional and spiritual intelligence, which certainly all of us here are very interested in, is in this world of oneness where everything's interconnected, as the Akashic Records tells us, and as quantum physics tells us, everything is instantly interconnected. We want to have as much awareness, intelligence, emotional, spiritual intelligence as possible. And talking about the season here in May, that's being aware of that flow. That's part of our emotional and spiritual intelligence.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So do we want to just go ahead and draw a card?
Let's do that.
See what the universe
jump right
has in store for us from the oracles. And so we're going to be drawing from, but he keeps knocking at my microphone. Drawing from the Mystical Shaman Oracle to start. We're going to draw one card. And this is we're going to draw three total. The first one is going to be for the central focus of really for us to be embracing what's here for us in the month of May, about the creativity, the ideas, the more of our own soul's awareness that's really emerging and wanting to be expressed. So what I usually do, and I'm going to shift over. I have a second.
Yeah, we'll be able to see the cards.
A second better. Camera here, so you can see the cards.
Yeah, as Jane is getting that set, we'll be able to see more directly the cards, the oracle cards.
Right, and what I do is I just spread the whole deck out. This is how I.
And this is from the mystical shaman.
This is the
deck.
mystical shaman. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I pick one, the one that draws me, and here it is. Put all these back together. And this is interesting. These cards are so beautiful. This card is called the Sun. And I'm going to read what it says about it in the book. It's what number is
And this is related to the
number 53.
And the focus is the soul awakenings in this month, this time of year.
Right, opening to new ideas and energy and creativity.
So this will help us.
Right, we're wanting support. And so this is for us collectively. I think each of us also has our own individual focuses. So the essence, it says, the sun is acknowledged by many cultures as the foremost masculine force. In other traditions, it is seen as the feminine in her full power. Either way, it is the most brilliant light for all beings and allows life to sprout from the dark, feminine earth. It can be gentle and warming, close to sunset or sunrise, fall or winter, or it can be destructive, as in its zenith during the scorching summer in some places. So it also has what it calls in this deck the invitation. Have you been hibernating? Have you been introspective? It's time to come out of your cave and savor the life-giving light of our star. The sun rekindles our passion and creative energy. Life is calling you to shine your light and add your lightness and humor to the seriousness around you. Get out and play. Oh, so appropriate. And of course, the sun is the fire element. You know, it is that creative force, which is so interesting. It's very synchronous. It's kind of validating what we've been talking about. So fascinating. Any thoughts about that, Phillip?
Yeah, it feels like that's a guide for us, that we have this sun that's always there, even in cloudy days. And today we can more directly feel its warmth and light and energy healing us and directing us and showing us the light. What's the next step? It's just amazing all the things that it can produce. If you think of all the creativity of each of us and collectively, it's mind-boggling. It's very uplifting too.
Right. And it is that creative force shining most brightly during the time of year when the days are longest, when the sun has the greatest influence. So that's beautiful. Are you ready then for the second card? Is we're going to put on the left side of the first one. It's going to be for what to release, something to release, and then we're going to have a third card for what to embrace. We're going to draw these from another deck called the Good Tarot. I'm going to shuffle them a couple times.
Yeah, this is a very easy to understand tarot deck, as some tarot decks are a little more complicated and have a lot of symbolisms and interpretations. We like this one because it's very simple and easy and direct and elegant.
Yeah, very beautiful cards. Yeah. And it also is based on positive psychology. So the messages you'll see, the messages that you receive are very proactive in terms of living more fully. So I'm going to switch the camera again. I can't put this all the way across, but you can kind of guess. I'm spreading these out. I'm going to I'm drawing one this is for what to release. And this is for what to embrace. So the mystery is about to be revealed. To release, it's interestingly, the Six of Fire. And were you going to tell us about the Six of Fire?
I'm going to read the brief interpretation in the guidebook for the Six of Fire. The little tagline says, stepping into the limelight, being an enlightened influencer. Now, when we're releasing things, it really means it's probably a reversal of the card. In other words, this is what we need to do more of. This is what is lacking or out of balance. So that means,
whatever is blocking that.
in other words, something's blocking us stepping into the limelight. Something's out of balance for being an enlightened influencer. And there's a couple more sentences here about the card's meaning. So, and again, this would be out of sync and something we need to reverse. I generously model my transformation so that others might be inspired. So we want to be more inspiring to others, get out of our shell, so to speak. I put my light atop a hill so it can shine forth, helping others to find their way. And that's that card. Okay, it's the vision of it, the Six of Fire. I remain aware of shadows and people who have trouble basking in the warm light of higher awareness. So that means where we need to bask more in the light of higher awareness. I bless them, blessing ourselves too, but do not dim my own beacon. It's a time to renew my trust that I am contributing to the highest good of all in my own unique way. And also, people who in the chat, people who are watching, if something is coming up for you in this, please share that about shining, stepping into the limelight, having challenges with that, or something to be aware of, and also be more under the brightness and the beauty of the sun, the light and heat of the sun.
Sharon said this, and this might have been the last card. So appropriate for me right now. Yes, and it is so appropriate to come out and be shining. And then, of course, the Six of Fire as the release makes a lot of sense too. So what's stopping you from wanting to be out in the limelight, from wanting to allow yourself to fully blossom and expose the truth of who you are to the world? It is scary sometimes for many of us.
It's a very common fear. So realize sometimes we're feel better just because we know a lot of other people are having the same challenge, and that may encourage us to do it not only for ourselves but for others, to be a model, create a pathway for others.
And this is interesting. I was looking at the image a little. I have a hard time seeing where it's going. Is that clear, Philip? Is that in focus?
It's
sometimes you say it's blurry if it's
a little, yeah,
too
it's
close.
Six of Fire.
Yeah. Anyhow, it's a ship with a balloon over it so that it's flying high. That's interesting. It's it's up in the ethers.
Right.
It's beautiful. Yeah. So anyhow, that also makes so much sense.
Right. So to be more emotionally and spiritually intelligent, we have to let our energy rise up and operate at a different frequency, a higher, more refined
out of the shadows
place.
Into the light.
Yeah. Yes.
And
indeed.
I think it is to ask yourself, well, what might be blocking me from doing that or preventing me from fully embracing who I am and allowing that to go out for the world to see? That's a really valuable question, because those things that are blocking us, we take them seriously, but really those are the illusion. It's the illusion of limitation and the illusion that we have something to fear, maybe whatever it is, that there's something that we need to hide because there's something wrong with us or whatever it is. It's wonderful to be able to have the opportunity to see those things so that we can transcend them. Bab says, amazing cards so far. Really great, huh? So we ready for what to embrace?
What to embrace?
Let me get it where I can look. This is interesting. This is the major arcana, the Hermit. And before I put this down, we have a couple of messages here from Megan Terrell. Replying to Sharon Williamson, you have received the 2024 Moon and Angel Guidance reading. Child of the Universe. I don't know what that's about. And she also has something for Lula too. If you want to look in the chat and see those, that would be fine. So this is interesting. To embrace, we have the Hermit, major arcana number 9. So, Philip, did you want to talk about that one?
Yes, the major arcana, the Hermit, which the tagline there is time out. Sometimes it's necessary to take time out for regrouping and introspection. This is a temporary experience, but one necessary for my growth. When I step back, retreat, regroup, and renew, I have a clear perspective on everything in my life.
Right, right. Yeah. And that makes sense too. We're talking about opening to more energy. And I think that if we want to do that, we need to be introspective enough to have a full understanding of what it is that we want to embrace. We don't want to just willy-nilly be going out there and saying, oh, it's time to open up, and not really understanding exactly what it is that our soul wants us to open to. What are your thoughts, Philip?
Well, my thought is sometimes we need to pause and reflect on going out into the limelight. So we may want to say, okay, what does that entail? I'm going to do that and be reflective and do it a little more intentionally. In other words, not just rush out there and say, I have to go in the limelight. I'm going to jump out there and do whatever. Be a more reflective and use the energies of the season to help us get a clear idea of what we want to do and what we want to express.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. And I'm seeing Megan Thoreau is offering readings to people. This is not about advertising yourself. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to block you from this. Block you from the chat. Okay. Okay, so we can move on. So our next part of the plan today is for Philip and me to go into the Akashic Records and to get the message for the collective, for all of us, about that, if there are more messages that are available to us.
Right.
And while we're doing that, I'm going to just do a short kind of a balancing process and opening for all of us, so that you can be connected, fully connected with the truth and the wisdom within you as we do this. So, you ready, Philip?
Ready. We're going to the Akashic realms, the higher realms, higher
Philip and I are
dimensions,
going to go there.
and we're inviting you with us.
No, we're not going to invite them into the records.
Oh, into
Philip,
the
I
records.
want to be clear about this.
Okay,
We're
go ahead.
inviting you to open to the truth within yourselves as we go into the records and share what we're getting, and then you can share your own wisdom if you feel like it, or just also receive the wisdom for yourself.
Okay.
Okay, and to do this, we want to invite Archangel Metatron, who has been, as I mentioned at the start, that he has been a wonderful guide for us. He is an archangel, and those who have come to the circle before know that he has been a wonderful source of light and wisdom and encouragement for us. He's just a magnificent archangel, actually considered to be one of the angels that's closest to the creator. So we're very blessed that he is here for humanity at this time. So we'll start out by closing our eyes again, if it's safe for you to do so. And continuing as we did before, breathing in the most amazing light from the universe that's available to you in this moment. We're activating your light for healing, for embracing more of your true identity as a magnificent spiritual being. Just breathing in that light, and again releasing with the exhale, releasing anything that you don't need in this moment. And asking that any energy that is not your own, that is in your space, ask it to go back where it came from, so that you can fully embrace your own truth in this moment. We all pick up energy from other people, other places, other times. You can just send it back lovingly where it came from. Just breathing and noticing what you notice when you do that. You may feel more spaciousness. There's more room for your soul to be present. A lot of times we contract ourselves because we have to fit into this this world that feels somehow not quite attuned to where we are. This is a time when you can just expand out and let go. Just be you. That is so much in keeping with the season too. And just as we pick up energy from other people, other times, and other places, we leave our energy in other times, other places, and with other people. So you can also ask that any of your own energy that's ready to come back to you now, to bring it back. And just feel what that feels like. Or notice what you notice. And overall, you might notice that you feel more present in your body in the moment, just from those few things, which is a good thing. And then breathing love from the universe, love from Archangel Metatron. We'll invite Archangel Metatron to bless us with light and love. Just feel his energy around us, supporting us. And with that, Philip and I are going into the records. And I know actually there are some people here who do go into the records. And if you do, if you know how to do that, you can. Otherwise, connecting with your own truth is pretty equal to it, just a little different. So we just now open to that, whatever is the place for you. And Philip, if you want to share what you notice when you get into your records, if there are any messages about where we are in the month of May and opening more to that brilliance of light.
Yeah, it feels very etheric and like a vaporous in a very nice way, a very wonderful, light, airy feeling. And I think Metatron is that's one of his aspects. The archangel is a keeper of the records, and I'll communicate with him about the month of May and the sun, opening up to your soul's purpose and get his insights. Yes, wonderful, dear children, dear loved ones. May is a wonderful month to open your heart. And just as the flowers are blossomed, see your spirit blossoming and your heart opening with wonderful colors enriched everywhere. Realize that the earth has taken many days to come to this exact time of year. It's prepared itself as well as you for this moment and this time of beauty and bounty and creativity. And as you open your arms and your hearts to it, you can feel it deep in your being, reverberating. And then you are part of that harmony. You are part of that colorful explosion of energy and delight and creativity. So just feel that as the flowers and the trees are awakening, so too, loved one, are you as well. And you can embrace that going forward and use the imagery of the sun, of the flowers, of the trees, of nature blossoming in the physical earthly world to take it into your heart, into the higher spiritual realms, and live in that more creative place now and going forward. And we love you. And that is our message for now.
It's beautiful. And for me, from my message from the Akashic Records, from the collective, what I'm seeing is the long history and focusing on the United States particularly, and there may be people from other places in the world here too. What I'm seeing in our history is a lot of battles, a lot of like fire energy, that power and fire and active force is generally seen as war. It has been seen. So we have within us, within our DNA is built that kind of fear of battle if we shine our light. Whereas from a higher dimensional perspective, shining our light is, as Phillip was suggesting in Metatron, it is a place of wonder for us, a place of joy. And somehow we need to transition from that place of perceiving the not so positive history that has brought us to where we are now, in a new light. And the suggestion that I'm getting is to for all of us to do some violet flame on our history, the history of our ancestors, that's in our DNA, that is now being projected into the reality that we're in today, when we can actually empower ourselves more. And that to me connects with the hermit. It's that hermit who is our teacher. It could be Metatron, Saint Germain and the violet flame, and of course the wise one within each of our own selves. So right now what is being suggested is to open to welcome Saint Germain to join us. You might, and allow him to embrace you with his loving light. He is another magnificent being who is here for this at this time for humanity. So we can just open to the blessing of his light and ask him to support us with that violet flame energy in the perfect way for you. If you want to embrace that, the violet flame is it is the highest vibration of light that's available to us on a color, currently on the physical plane. And it allows us to transmute dense energy into light energy. So it's alchemy. So you can open to just allow that violet flame to surround you, and invite it into your body and into those cells to clear out whatever can be cleared in this moment, so you can more fully embrace your own magnificence. I'm just feeling what that feels like. The perfect, for me, it often is more like sparkles of light than a flame. Just allow it to be whatever it is for you, whatever it feels or looks in your inner vision looks right, what you sense is right for you. And you may receive a message from Saint Germain too. And you can be sending, just imagine sending that violet flame back into your ancestry, the history also of the nation that is present in energetically in the mass consciousness that we want to transcend. And just releasing that fear. Maybe you've had fears of coming out more as yourself that you didn't understand, and maybe this will partially explain it, what that has meant historically for us collectively and individually. A lot of us have been through some tremendous traumas. And it is interesting to think of that idea of being afraid of the light because it means war, or because it means somehow being violated or hurt, when actually it is our birthright, the birthright of the soul. So just feel that. And what tends to happen, which has surprised me when I started doing this with the violet flame, is that it transmutes that dense energy, the fears and whatever, into love and joy. So as you do this, you might start noticing that you feel lighter and actually happy. Just kind of ironic where we started with the history, you know, that not so valiant history where we come from. Of course, when this happens, then I generally invite in Raziel, Archangel Raziel, because he is the archangel of magic, actually very closely associated with Saint Germain, who is a magician as well. And Raziel comes in a rainbow of light. So we can imagine surrounding ourselves with that rainbow of light now, adding that to the violet flame. And the violet flame might be receding, it might be the energy turning lighter. Just allow it to be what it is. And invite in the rainbow colors. And those too might be sparkles of light. I envision often sparkles of light in the cells embracing whatever is the right light for them. So just allowing it into all of your cells. And noticing how you feel about it and how you feel about yourself in relation to where we have come from collectively. Philip, are you noticing anything you'd like to share?
Yes. Taking the cards here in the Akashic Records about being in the limelight, that means as you recover your goodness and your skills and your gifts, you can shine that and share that with other people. It's a very beautiful sharing. It's sort of an offering of your gifts, the things that you're good at, the things
Right.
that you enjoy to other people. It's not being arrogant or out of step with things or trying to get too much attention yourself. It's rather just saying, I have some very good things I'd like to share the bounty to other people.
Mm-hmm. And it is, if we looked at the reading, all of the cards together, the sun and then the six of fire, about having to release those things that block us from allowing ourselves to embrace the sun. And then for what is to embrace the hermit, looking within and seeing what we saw for the collective, for instance. And what is that for you? What part maybe makes an impression for your soul? You know, what historically might have uh, been painful for you, painful
Mm-hmm.
enough that you would not want to shine brightly.
Mm-hmm. And as we're clearing out the debris and sort of bad karma from ourselves and our ancestors, that's going to be a way to help us shine our light with the help of the sun.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's a beautiful reading. And for me, that Akashic Records also connecting with the collective, our collective history that has brought us to this place. It all makes, to me, a lot of sense. And I think it also, for me, it relates to not, or being reluctant to, I guess, evoke or elicit a sense of power, because power has been seen as as taking advantage of people, as again, it's associated to war. Like, who's going to win the war? Who can kill the most people? Who can create the most damage to the other party so that you
Dominate.
can win and, right, come out on top? That's not what true power is. So that might be a topic for next week. It feels like one, because it is so, to me, directly connected. It's a complete misuse and misunderstanding of power, which we see so clearly. It's interesting in some of the political activity right now.
So the Hermit card, the reflective card, taking a look within what needs to be healed for you and your ancestors, which we've been doing here with the purple flame.
Right.
And then when we can go out into the light, we don't have to have those obstacles holding us back, that energy.
Right.
We can be
Right.
freer to express ourselves genuinely and lovingly.
Right. And now I also perceive Archangel Michael wanting to join in, and he is the archangel who is associated with power and with safety, like keeping you safe and allowing you to embrace your power and evoke power in a loving and beautiful way, the power of truth, the power of who you are. That is that active masculine force that is the sun, also is power. And Archangel Michael is often associated with the fire element. So you can just invite him to surround you with his light, often perceived as being an electric, kind of a blue, very, very vibrant. So if you associate that with the sun, it's not hot, it's not burning, it's vibrant, it's aliveness. Beautiful, vibrant, electric blue light. Again, inviting it into your cells if that feels appropriate to you. My sense also somehow is to invite it into your mind, your brain. Just all of this is helping the brain to be clearer and more allowing as we embrace light. Does that feel complete to you, Philip?
It does.
Okay, yeah. And of course, you can return anytime to these wonderful beings. They're always here for you. If you come to them with pure intention and love, they want so much to be with you. So we can thank them. We thank Archangel Metatron and Ascended Master Saint Germain, Archangel Raziel, and Archangel Michael. There are so many amazing beings around us now in this moment, and for each of us always. So with that, you can imagine now just feeling yourself firmly in your seat, with your feet on the ground, sending love to Mother Earth and receiving that love and support also. And then breathing in more active energy, returning to your normal waking state. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I see Babs says, thank you so very much. Appreciated it all. Love the violet flame. Moving out fear and always love Raziel Rainbows. She loves Raziel too, I know. Well, what's there not to love? I think Raziel is a wonderful angel to invite in anytime you need more joy. You need that kind of lightness. And the rainbow light, of course, is, who doesn't love rainbows?
Yeah, it was a good balance too with the healing.
Yeah. And it was interesting and kind of going back to this card with the ship that's up in the air with the balloon holding it up. When I was looking in the Akashic Records and seeing our history, it was like all of these ships, sending, or I guess bombs,
Ships of war.
Right, ships of war battling each other. And here we are, we have an option for an alternative reality. And that's what we're here for, those of us who are connecting to the light. Yep, here's another person. I probably can't pronounce your name properly, so you have to forgive me.
Amner Gao?
Yes. Yes, thank you. That
welcome,
was beautiful.
Harmder.
Yes, welcome.
Yes. So, are we complete for today?
Well, we can do as we often do at this time. Just remember that the love that we receive is blessing everyone. And whether we actually think of it or not, whatever we're vibrating, we are vibrating out around us. And we also can intentionally vibrate light out around us to benefit everyone. Everyone, you could be focusing on sending it to your community, to the world, the whole world,
Mm-hmm.
to places where people are suffering,
Mm-hmm.
to people, you know, who need healing.
Yes, and it feels good to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Just sharing the love. And of course, Awakenings Institute is all about creating a more loving world where everyone's unique gifts are honored and nurtured. And that's what we're talking about here, specifically with this reading about honoring and enjoying and appreciating and living in our light. So beautiful. So, Philip, do you want to share what's up at Awakenings Institute?
Yes, we have a new Akashic Records course coming up. I can show that to people, which you might want to participate in. And that's coming up May 15th, coming up soon, where you'll learn about experiencing the Akashic Records and using oracles as well. And that will be a very wonderful experience for people who want to go deeper into this material and be with a wonderful supportive group of people as well. And there's to go there, you go to tinyurl.com/intro-akashic.
Yeah, and I just put that in the chat.
Tinyurl, yeah, .com/intro-akashic. Yeah.
Right.
And if people would like a personal session with Jane or myself, they could go to, we have a page or a way you can connect with us for that. Do you have the URL there, Jane?
Yeah, I'm just putting that up. That's another
it's
tiny URL.
tinyurl.com/spiritual-session, tinyurl.com/spiritual-session. They have your own session, your own reading to help you empower yourself and clear whatever is in the way.
Right.
Have a more soulful life.
Right. Yeah. Wonderful. So it's been a pleasure. I think we get as much out of this as anybody else. And so we're delighted to be here and so pleased that all of you joined us, beings of love and light, awakening souls. And I think if you return to the theme of embracing more of your emotional and spiritual intelligence, you can see how that's connected too. That we are becoming more brilliant when we come together in this way to connect, to heal, to grow, to have new insights. It's all connected. So thank you for being here. The final thing that we do every week is we send out that love and light to your future. So just send out all the love and light that you've experienced in this time together. Send it out into the future and to fill your week with it so that when you, as you get to each moment, it's there for you. So thanks again for joining us and have a wonderful week.